What a tough to handle. David, thank you. And a look at the starters for San Antonio. You've got Fred VanVleet. Montrezl Harrell is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Chris Middleton. And it's Butler in at the small forward position. And for the Grizzlies, they've got Paul George. Karl Anthony Towns is out there with John Collins. Then there's Marvin Bagley. And it's McCollum in at the point. Now here's McCollum. Outside, George. Oh, Clark, there's nothing like opening night. Preseason in the rearview mirror. Now the games count for real. Terrific time.
Yeah, exciting for everybody because hope springs eternal for all teams in the league after you get beyond preseason. And the games do count. They start calculating and documenting W's and L's.
So the San Antonio Spurs able to put the first points up on the board. And Fred VanVleet is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
First team foul.
Here's McCollum. He's coming off a 22-point game against the Trailblazers in Portland.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
And it's Leonard missing.
Now, there's an example of good defense beating good offense.
McCollum, no good. And so VanVleet will bring it up for the Spurs. Butler dishes to Middleton. Pass to VanVleet. 2 points. That one goes.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Well, I'm going to credit the screen. I mean, that's a good, strong pick he lays there.
Now, here's George. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Trailblazers in Portland.
Boy, he was piling up those assists in that one. I mean, every pass seemed to be on time and on target.
Bagley, no good. For San Antonio, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. McCollum with the ball. Now guarded by Harrell. Here's Bagley. Banked in off the glass.
And at this stage, this is where Bagley feels most comfortable. I mean, knows he has the size and touch to score inside.
Bagley against Harrell. He's off on that one. Great D that time from Bagley. And so it's McCollum. He'll bring it up for Memphis. Knocked loose. And so it looks like the Grizzlies will retain possession here.
And let's take a moment to look at some stats for Jimmy Butler. He's coming off an excellent season. Averaged 18 points per, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. It's hard to wrap your head around numbers like these, but that is just what he delivers night in and night out.
You know, it's so easy for us to take him for granted, to get spoiled with what he does. I think we've got to be more appreciative of the kind of impact this man has in every game he plays.
There's VanVleet after the made shot from John Collins. Here's Butler. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
And smothered him on that mid-range attempt.
As a defender, he's going to just be a bothersome, worrisome guy, making you miserable all night. A hand in your face on every jumper.
And there it is for him.
And their post play has been really solid right off the bat.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Here's Leonard and the rejection by Towns.
A tremendous shot blocker in college, Kevin. Towns has packed that part of his game and brought it with him to the next level.
And George, here we go. And the rejection by Harrell. Leonard against Towns. Leonard inside. Shoots over Towns. Leonard, no luck.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
And, you know, guys, the Spurs team dinners, the stuff of legends, just building camaraderie and getting to know one another and being orchestrated with care by head coach Greg Popovich. They enjoyed the finest restaurants and great food and drink, but the fellowship and camaraderie, probably the most important part of those dinner gatherings.
First one falls for. Clark, the act of getting dinner, sitting down to a meal. As a team, it brings people together.
It really does, guys. And I can't overstate it. When you get a chance to know your teammates off the court, it adds to your ability to play for them on the court. It can't always be just about grind, grind, grind. There has to be some compassion, some caring, some understanding. And sometimes the best places to do that are at restaurants with good food and good drink.
And San Antonio calls the first time out of the game. They just couldn't come out on top last time they took on the Grizzlies. That one was played in Memphis.
Yeah, and looking back at their last game against this club, they were badly out-rebounded.
Yeah, and that turned the tide, the rebounding differential. They've got to focus and make it a team effort to really pound the glass.
Now that we have a chance, let's go to the 2K leaderboard and reveal last season's top shot blockers. You look at Robinson, second in the NBA, a great defender.
And shot blocking is the element of the game that I think he cares about the most. That's where he puts in that effort and energy.
DeRozan against Hield. Outside DeRozan, just 5 to shoot. Over Hield, the turnaround jumper. Count it.
Well, you can see the excitement in DeRozan's eyes when he gets these opportunities. I mean, he's a knockdown threat from there.
Pass to George. Now here's Towns. Satoransky covering. Robinson with the block, and he gets it back. Spurs trail by 4. Outside DeRozan. Spurs working the ball around now. Nice shot by Thompson.
And he placed that pass out in front of him and let him just run into it in rhythm.
Left side, George. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist.
And that kind of awareness from George is really exceptional. Catching the defense flat-footed by rising up immediately on the catch.
Here's DeRozan. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Marvin Bagley picks one up. Clark, I have sat next to you doing these games for years. What's prevented you from taking a coaching position at some level? Because I hear you talk, I'm thinking you'd be a perfect coach.
Well, a couple of things. One, coaching never lets up. It's always on you. And I've come to enjoy the fact that I can be fully immersed as a broadcaster and work with great guys like you and others, and then have a period of time where I don't have to be immersed in basketball, and I've enjoyed that. And I also haven't trained or prepared to be a coach because it is demanding in terms of the hours that you have to put in. And I've got a little more job security, I think, in the role that I serve as an analyst as opposed to what might happen if I did try to be a coach.
You've got all the security in the world, believe me. And it's Dragic bringing up the ball for the Memphis Grizzlies. Passes to Towns. That one goes in.
Yeah, you see right there, Towns invites contact. Unafraid of it, looking for it, and he's able to score through it.
Satoransky looking around. The pass to Thompson. Shot clock at 6. Here's Leonard. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. That one is on Hield. Well, the Grizzlies coaching search took 2 months. They finally settled on Taylor Jenkins, a former assistant coach with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Jenkins, with an economics degree from Penn, fits the young academic profile of this Memphis front office. Worked for the Spurs 6 years as an assistant under Mike Budenholzer, who was the coach of the year in 2019. That pedigree helped him get the job.
No good on that one.
And the Spurs, I've heard it said, the most process-oriented team in the league.
Well, that's an understanding of what it takes for them as a small market team to be successful. A good assessment of what they have to do as the San Antonio Spurs to be good. Scouting, coaching, chemistry, all part of that.
You know, when he was in high school in California, Kawhi won the state's Mr. Basketball Award. And you look at the list of guys who've won that award over the years, it has a lot of the all-time greats on it.
And the rejection by Leonard. The dish to Robinson. DeRozan against Hield. From deep, they get the rebound.
The only place for shots like that are in shoot-around.
Exactly. I mean, that shot is one he shouldn't even think about taking.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And so it's San Antonio with it. Grizzlies making the shot. Back to Robinson. Over Hield. Robinson misses. And the Grizzlies leading by 5. This one for 3. And Hield gets it to go on the assist from Dragic.
And that is what Hield does. This guy is a gunner. Loves pulling the trigger from deep.
Pass to Leonard. Once again off the mark by San Antonio.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
Hield, the pass to Murray. And here's Towns. Count it. And now a 10-point Grizzly lead.
Excellent all-around performance so far. Hence the big lead.
Yeah, you know, they've had the advantage at both ends. They've got all the momentum early on.
And so it's Memphis with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. Back right after this. The time is approaching, and Jimmy Butler talked about how it feels hearing your name in trade rumors.
Rumors are different for everybody, to tell you the truth. For me, I don't think about it because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You go out there and control what you can control. You know, try to help your team win games, play to the best of your abilities. And if it just so happens you get traded, then you got to suit up and play for the next team.
Staying level-headed and ready for whatever's next. That's Jimmy's mindset, Greg, in a nutshell.
And it's fair to say that the level of professionalism and maturity he possesses is really impressive.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Grizzlies?
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in the first half.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
Dragic is out there with Murray. Then it's Karl-Anthony Towns. Then it's Julius Randle. And it's Hield in at the 3 slot. That's the group for Memphis to kick off the second quarter. Now, here's DeRozan. He had 13 points in the win against Dallas. He gets it in there. DeRozan's got his second bucket tonight.
Guys, you remember when DeMar DeRozan first came into the league, he was just really a raw athlete. Now he's a finely tuned offensive juggernaut.
Puts up a 3. Rebound by Murray. And so it's Murray with it. He brings it up for the Memphis Grizzlies.
DeJounte Murray played just one season at the University of Washington. He grew up in Seattle and went to Rainier Beach High School. It's actually the same high school that produced Jamal Crawford. And as a matter of fact, a lot of good players have come out of the Emerald City.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, Jimmy Butler has made several all-star teams, but he remains single-minded in pursuit of his bigger goal. Butler said, "I just want to win a championship. That's all that matters. I didn't do it in high school, didn't do it in college. If I don't win it here, then I'll go to the 50 and over league someday. But I got to win a championship at some stage." Kevin?
I like that attitude. Thank you, D.A. And in Seattle, Murray recognized from a young age as a potential pro.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can identify those especially talented players, and his nickname was Baby Boy. And how about this, Kevin? Jamal Crawford has mentored DeJounte since the 6th grade. Those guys have exchanged text messages throughout that time. Jay Crossover, one of my favorites, on and off off the court in the league. Really has helped keep Murray on the right track.
This is to McCollum. The Grizzlies with another miss.
Yeah, but the defense was determined not to give him an inch of free space.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And Butler just excellent at finding ways to get to the stripe, especially when he's near the basket.
The Spurs have only 1 missed free throw. They've had 5 attempts and made 4 of them.
And just last season, they were at about 82% from the free throw line. So those numbers are always going to be positive.
Free throw, good Butler. And the hard scramble upbringing for Jimmy Butler, well chronicled in Houston, Texas. He says it played a part in making him the person Clark he is today. But it doesn't explain him.
That's a great way to put it, Kevin, because we are certainly influenced by our experiences and our past, but it doesn't dictate where we'll go in the future. He bounced around for 4 years in different places from age 13 on. No recruiting buzz out of high school. From there to here, that's a major climb. Credit to Jimmy Butler.
Well, and he breaks out the tomahawk. No soft finish there. Pure power.
Yeah, we could feel that one all the way over here.
Yeah, great aggressive move to the bucket there. He wasn't about to pass that one up. He threw it down.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
Yeah, that's not the defense you need. You got to be tougher defensively.
Bagley in the post. Harrell on him. Shoots from the block. Rebound San Antonio. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Van Vliet with the bucket. Van Vliet's got it all tied up now for San Antonio.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Bagley finds McCollum. Jacks up a 3. Rebound by Harrell. San Antonio's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Here's Butler. He made that one. Basket number 3 for him. He's also missed 2.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Now here's McCollum. Trying to find Bagley and gets it to him. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. Clark, a big jump in scoring, but I think a lot of that is because of the prolific role players we have in the NBA now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. When you think about starters putting up points and then you have guys that fortify benches and can get points in bunches, the first name that comes to mind for me, Lou Williams. A designated role of scoring the basketball in limited minutes. And when he gets it going, watch out. Nobody quite like Lou Williams putting it in the basket as a role player.
Good on both.
And, you know, the impressive ascension of Randle has been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he's a double-double threat who plays with relentless energy.
Now here's Van Vliet. And finished off by Robinson.
And you could see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other.
And I tell you what, guys, that's a big play to make in a close game. Potential momentum builder there.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Out of Wake Forest, John Collins quickly emerging as a top-notch scorer. A tremendous finisher, and his range extends out beyond the arc.
And he can't get the first one. And players with big numbers on losing teams can be accused of empty stats. So, Greg, do you take Collins's with a grain of salt?
You look at his field goal percentage, high 50s. He's not just a high usage player. He is highly efficient.
And he can't hit the second.
And they're getting to the line a lot in this quarter, guys, and it hasn't been by accident.
Yeah, I don't think it's an accident that aggressiveness correlates with playing better. So the aggressiveness is starting to pay off.
Here's George following the basket by Chris Middleton. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That is his first foul of the game.
Personal foul. Third team foul.
McCollum outside. 6 on the shot clock. Shoots the 3. Gets the three-pointer to fall. McCollum's got 5 now.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Van Vliet kicks to Middleton. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Here's George, and they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, it's really hard to distract Paul George when he goes into a shot. I mean, even though the defense is there and made the obvious foul, doesn't seem to bother him.
Grizzlies making a switch here. Dragic is checked in. Spurs also with the sub. Thompson, he's checked in for Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
My kind of hoops. Straight ahead, playing downhill, and physical.
Now here's Middleton. Now Thompson. Pass to Van Vliet. Off target from outside. McCollum right side. And McCollum with the slam.
Boy, I really love the way Dragic spreads that ball around.
1:44 left here in the second. Passes it to Harrell. Back to Van Vliet. Shot to stop the run. It's rebounded by Memphis. Bagley's got 5 rebounds tonight, and McCollum with the slam.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones.
Hey, they've got a nice, comfortable lead here, fellas. Might as well keep it simple. Do it a plain, simple one-hander, just like pound cake.
I would agree.
Yeah, things not going their way, and he wants to just try to talk this one over.
And you know what, guys? If for nothing else, just to slow things down a little bit, change it up somewhat.
Some changes for Memphis. Towns comes in for Marvin Bagley. And it's Buddy Hield in for McCollum. Then for the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Montrezl Harrell. DeMar DeRozan comes in for Chris Middleton. And Satoransky is subbed in for Fred Van Vliet. Butler, no good.
No matter what looks they get, they just can't convert to stop this run.
And, you know, they've got to be careful, because this is when the team concept breaks down and guys start playing hero ball.
Now here's Butler. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Here's DeRozan. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And 11 points for DeMar DeRozan.
And with that basket, he's able to end a 10-0 run by the Grizzlies.
George finds Dragic. Right side Towns. Here's Collins, and the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
You've got to box out on the boards. When you don't, that's what happens.
The wide open look here for DeRozan. From the top of the key, he buries it. DeRozan's got 9 points in the quarter. Dragic taking his time here. Towns. And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And the teams are going to have to wait before heading to the locker room. They're going to bring out the monitor and see if he got that shot off in time.
And now that we've gotten a chance to see it in slow-mo, I think the ruling has to be that he did not beat the buzzer with that shot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the replay center in Secaucus giving us the perfect angle, and he wasn't quick enough on his release, it would appear. That extra little split second made the difference.
And they're keeping the call as is. It was close, but he had not released it before the clock had expired.
Yeah, still better safe than sorry. I think they did the right thing to take another look at it. And if it's so close that you can't tell by the naked eye, might as well go to the slow-mo.
And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive game so far. Memphis out in front as they end the second quarter on a 12-4 run. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Kawhi, you have grown so much offensively throughout your career. What's the focus of that end of the floor?
Just knocking down open shots, my ball handling, making good decisions off the pick and roll, and just try to limit my turnovers.
And you've done well so far, Kawhi. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. We've reached halftime of our first regular season game.
I'm swimming.
I thought you thought maybe the first half was going swimmingly. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet. It was a fast pace for Memphis at the outset. They put together some nice offensive stretches and at one point led by as many as 10. After a solid quarter of play, they held a 10-point lead. Going into the second quarter, they lost a little focus, sacrificed some points, but still finished with a 4-point cushion at the half. Kenny, what'd you think about the Grizzlies?
Well, so far, they've taken care of their business here at home. It's something you might expect, but it's not a given. We'll see if they can keep that up in the second half.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
Whatever their game plan was defensively coming in, that needs to change. Can't let a team shoot for a percentage in the high 50s and expect to come out on top. It's on the coaches and the players to adjust.
And that's a wrap for our halftime show. The third quarter just about to get started.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. A fantastic game from DeMar DeRozan so far.
You just love the patience in that first half. Waited until he got the look he wanted.
Well, you know what, guys? It was all about efficient offense, not rushing things, taking your time, finding the best shot on every possession.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. On the court for San Antonio, they've got Harrell. Jimmy Butler is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Fred VanVleet, and it's DeRozan in at the shooting guard position. Here's Leonard, and the Spurs scoring again.
Yeah, from mid-range, Leonard's jump shot is money. It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble or catch and shoot. He never loses his touch.
And McCollum the bucket on the assist by Bagley. And that's now 11 points for C.J. McCollum.
Well, some ups and downs for Marvin Bagley in that rookie campaign with the Kings, but you could see the flashes of potential and the tremendous work ethic when he was out on that floor.
Here's George. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. McCollum kicks to George. Launches it. That one misses. And so VanVleet will bring it up for San Antonio, trailing by 2. And with Bagley, the mobility he showed for his size is really what impresses you.
And that blend of size and speed is why many feel like he could play across the entire front line. Wasn't in the Rookie of the Year race, but in a few years, he could be right there with the best of the best from that 2018 class.
And the first one at the line is good.
You know, Butler came into the NBA a tad under the radar. I mean, he was the last pick of the first round back in 2011. Didn't play much at first, but once he got his opportunity, his career took off and took off fast.
Chris Middleton's checked in for the Spurs. And it's tied up with that one. And Clark, when you think back to your playing days in high school, what memories come to mind?
Well, just the fun of being able to have success all 4 years I was at St. Joseph High School in Cleveland, the way the city rallied around us my senior year when we had a chance to play for a state championship. Unfortunately came up short. The teammates and coaches and teachers that I had a chance to enjoy those 4 years with, all really fond, special memories for me.
And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It goes on Chris Middleton.
Boy, George can really change pace quickly. He's excellent at drawing physical contact.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Take a break. A year ago, he had an 84% success rate on his foul shots, so he was a guy they were always happy to see at the line.
Yeah, those were fine numbers he posted at the line. It was hard to find fault with anything he did from the stripe.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
He makes 1 of 2 that time. You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
Here's Leonard after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
That's good from Harrell.
And wow, you just have to love the motor on Montrezl Harrell when he's on the floor. Great on the glass, and he just plays with such a fire.
DeJounte Murray, he's checked in for Paul George. He doesn't get the second one. And with Harrell, you can see how his energy spreads to the rest of the team.
Reminds me a bit of what Fareed used to bring the team. Harrell is also undersized, but boy, he makes up for it in so many ways.
Now here's McCollum. He's got 11. Here's Collins, and 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And the foul goes against San Antonio. And he may not have gotten the same attention as some of the other picks back in the 2017 draft, Greg, but John Collins out of Wake Forest has been outstanding thus far in his career.
Really one of the league's best kept secrets. Tremendous athleticism, also great hands, and just has a knack for moving to the open spot around that rim.
Robinson's checked in for Jimmy Butler. He hits both from the stripe. Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Van Vliet kicks to Leonard. Harrell trying to free himself up, and he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
The Spurs have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
Taking 2 shots.
The first one falls. Randall's checked in for Memphis. Leonard hits them both. For Memphis, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Murray surveying the D. Here's Towns. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Towns has got 8 points.
At the offensive end, he's been assertive and efficient, guys. A big reason why they hold this lead right now.
Offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Leonard. Again, the miss by the Spurs. Grizzlies have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. From the baseline. That one a little long.
And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
And, guys, that's exactly the kind of high-impact defense they want to see out of him.
The teardrop falls in. He's got 13.
Encouraging signs for him after starting the game poorly. He's picked it up here in the second half.
Cullen passes to Towns. Robinson with the block. McCollum against Leonard. Leonard draws the double. Middleton outside. Leonard finds Middleton. Drains it from beyond the arc. And now a 3-point San Antonio lead. In a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for the Spurs.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
And also, their second chance points have been a story all night as well. That's just pure effort and hustle.
Checked in for the Grizzlies. Dragic comes in for C.J. McCollum. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for San Antonio. Satoransky comes in for Fred VanVleet. Here's Collins. Misses off the right iron.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Yeah, still close, but with their tough play on the boards, we're certainly seeing the effort.
Oh, such a field shot there, the floater.
Murray outside. Out to the right wing. Outside Dragic. 5 to shoot. To stop the run. And again, Memphis no good.
And you could tell he thought he had a little more space, but the defender was right there.
You know, that's a trademark of his defense. Quick to react, close down the shooter, and then affect the shot.
Now Hield. Kawhi Leonard missing from long range. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That is his first foul of the game. The Spurs making a switch here. DeRozan's checked in. Here's Collins. Stolen by Robinson. Satoransky with it. Middleton outside. Oh, the lob to DeRozan. The Grizzlies trail by 7. 1:44 left in the third. Here's Dragic. That one off the back iron and out.
Boy, you've got to be there defensively. I mean, that's an easy mid-range jumper that he'll typically drain.
There's 1:26 left in the third quarter. Timeout called, the Grizzlies.
We've seen this explosion of Canadian players in the NBA. And really, Tristan Thompson led that way. The 4th pick back in 2011, Thompson was, at that point, the highest drafted Canadian in NBA history.
George is checked in for Murray. Courtesy of the 2K leaderboard, here's a peek at the league's top scorers from a season ago. Second is Paul George.
And looking back, his points per game really underscored the fact that he never took a game off. I mean, one special performance after another all season long.
Towns dishes to Heel. Stolen by Middleton. DeRozan against Towns. DeRozan passes to Robinson. And he banks in the layup. Robinson's got the lead up to 11 now for the Spurs.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
You know, he should be getting extra attention from the defense, not less.
Now here's Dragic. Rocket 6. They need this one. Nailed from three-point land. Dragic has got 6 points.
Gets the shot he wants. The defense wasn't quite connected enough. They lost contact.
And DeRozan, here we go. He misses his third shot of the game. He has made 6 of his 9. And George kicks to Dragic. From downtown, rebound San Antonio. Thompson's got 6 rebounds now in the game. That one doesn't go. And so it's San Antonio in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And let's go back to the traffic pass that we're calling tonight, our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Yeah, that's just a brilliant read of the defense. I mean, it was also excellent anticipation of the movement of his teammates before the pass. Just great harmony on all sides.
And with 3 quarters behind us, let's see what this fourth period holds in store for us. A moment now to reset the lineups, brought to us by Gatorade, all fueled up here for the fourth quarter. So the Grizzlies 5 right now. Dragic is out there with Paul George. Then it's Collins. Then it's Bagley. And it's Towns in at the power forward. Spurs leading by 8. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. And a look now at San Antonio's upcoming schedule. On Friday, they'll be matching up with Al Horford and the Denver Nuggets. And then on Saturday, they'll face off against DeAndre Jordan and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And here's Dragic. He'll bring it up for Memphis. They'll be off next to Utah for a meeting with the Jazz. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for him. Robinson with the block.
Yeah, just a solid job on the backboard. They are really controlling the inside.
Well, they're working the glass, really battling in that area of the game, and that's helped them stake this lead.
Dragic with it, now guarded by DeRozan. Here's Towns. It's good. That basket, he's now 5 for 9.
Man, he is just really in a flow right now. That field goal percentage has gone through the roof.
And finished off by Robinson.
How about the court vision of Middleton? Just so good at finding the open man.
George finds Dragic. We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Memphis needs to get off a shot here. Here's Towns. That's him coming off an assist from Dragic. Towns has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, I like that sweet-looking shooting stroke that Towns has. So polished and efficient. This mid-range J on the money.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
And you look at how Towns is so effective on offense, and it's because he really has the entire package for a big man. Back to the basket, facing up, playing outside or in, off the bounce or on the catch. This guy can do it all.
a change here. McCollum's checked in. San Antonio also making some changes. Montrezl Harrell, he's checked in for Tristan Thompson. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Chris Middleton. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
During that break, Greg Popovich really had some strong advice for his team. He's encouraged where they are at this point in the game, but he told his guys things can turn in a blink. What we need to do is execute the rest of the way. So we'll see if they can finish this one off, Kevin.
And Greg, as you said, it's the skill level of Towns at his young age that is so incredible.
Very capable three-ball shooter, but he likes backing you down on the block as well. You step back and look at what he can do for a team, and there aren't really any holes in his game.
Here's DeRozan. Paul George making his last shot. That's tipped. Stolen by George. That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from McCollum.
And they've had assists now in their last 3 baskets.
George against DeRozan. George with the defensive effort. The Grizzlies have gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. To the middle. And finished off by Bagley.
How about the leaping ability of Bagley? He gets off the ground with ease to throw that one down.
Here's DeRozan, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And that free throw good from DeRozan.
Boy, DeRozan is a treat to watch. This guy is athletic, and he throws down some monster dunks. This dude is sick at the rim.
The Spurs making a switch here. Leonard's checked in. Both free throws good from DeRozan. The Grizzlies trail by 4. Outside, George. Back to McCollum. Loud pass to Bagley.
Oh, Kevin, get a load of that one. Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook, boys.
Perfectly done. You're right. He put it on a platter for him.
And a nice touch on the finish.
And the pass to Harrell. Leonard with the ball. Ball's knocked loose. And it's Bagley in the corner. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. Bagley's got the game tied up here for the Grizzlies. And Vliet with the bounce pass. Butler on the way. He's guarded by Collins. DeRozan passes to Leonard. Count it. Good. And the Spurs lead by 2.
Leonard has really become so good at catching and firing. I mean, he doesn't allow the defense any time to alter his shot.
Now a timeout called by Memphis. You gotta like what DeMar DeRozan has done in this game.
Well, you know, he's destroying them right now, guys. This defense has to make an adjustment to try and cool him off.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Mitchell Robinson.
And he's just been crushing it from the field tonight, Kevin. Whether it's been on open looks or with the guy draped all over him, he just hadn't missed much. With his percentage in the sky-high range, they've had no choice but to make him their #1 option on every trip.
Towns scores the bucket. He's 7 for 11 and continues to look good.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
Trying to get open is Butler. Off the left rim and out. And Collins has got the ball here for the Grizzlies. Giving up just 8 points in the fourth quarter.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Here's Butler. And the rejection by Collins. And it's Memphis on the break. It's good. Now it's a 5-point Memphis lead. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Grizzlies.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Now Middleton. Paul George missing from long range. Over McCollum. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. And the Grizzlies tack on 2 more.
And that's an element McCollum brings to their offense, the ability to drain the outside shot. It stretches the defense and makes them keep bodies on the perimeter.
Now here's Leonard. It's rebounded by Towns. Towns has got 9 rebounds now tonight. McCollum dishes to Collins. 1:19 left in the fourth quarter. And the basket by McCollum.
Outstanding vision, plus the height of Towns allows him to see over defenders.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're behind by 9. 1:16 left in the fourth quarter. .16 left here in the fourth quarter. Leonard inside, defended by Towns. And Harris slams it in.
Nice job clearing some space out under the boards and setting himself up there for the putback.
And not just any old putback, Clark, but a big, big foul.
You know, Kevin, you can't be pretty, though, with those second chance opportunities. I mean, just put it in the basket.
Saw the opportunity to put this away and did not turn it down.
And, you know, this run shows what kind of attitude this team has. I mean, the win is there. Go get it. He's somebody that's really comfortable carrying the offensive load.
Here's George. That shot off. Great D that time for Middleton.
Not enough ticks left on the clock to save them tonight.
Not by a long shot. It's all but official.
And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, they got to be happy with the outcome.
George against Middleton. Here's George. So it's Memphis picking up the win. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds.
Yeah, and for me, Kevin, what stood out is just the overall trust this group has in one another when it matters most. Doing what had to be done and to send these fans home happy.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Kevin, with Julius Randle. And Julius, you get it done at multiple ends. Where has your focus been in terms of approach?
Just taking what the defense gives him. I'm a lot more patient, let the game come to me. Don't really try to force things as much. You know, sometimes I get out of character, but just try my hardest to let the game come to me the most.
Well, you were a big part of the win tonight, Julius. Thanks for your time. Kevin, back to you.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Ulmer, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. See you next time.